What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Travel Explore Click. So, I'm going to get started again with my live reviews of credit cards, travel credit cards. Now, I've done this in the past. I did it on my other channel. I've rebranded this channel, and this is going to be where I talk a lot about travel. Okay, it's going to be all about travel. So it'll be about travel credit cards, as well as we're going to talk about actually traveling to different places, different destinations, and I'll do some vlogs and all of that good stuff. So I've been wanting to bring this back for a very long time. I think I did one other live stream before this, maybe two. I can't remember, but I've wanted to get back to this, but I had to kind of have everything set up the right way, the way that I wanted it. And so now we're here, and we're going to be putting out content. And I'm really going to launch it by doing a series of live streams. Okay, so hopefully you guys support me. Hit the like button. I know we're just starting out, so we're not going to have that many people in the room right now, but I would anticipate, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, because I'm going to be doing live streams. I think my plan, I want to do a live stream at least every other day, okay? And I will be going on a trip very soon, and I want to do some live streams on the trip. I'll be going to Europe, so it'll be a real good time. But I want to really launch the channel with the live streams because that's what I enjoy doing the most. This was 4 or 5 years ago. I was doing live streams. We were doing the live, taking a look at credit cards, travel credit cards, and I was sharing with you guys how I actually travel on a budget because travel is very expensive. The trip to Europe that we'll be taking was very expensive, and I wasn't able, this is more of a family trip, so I wasn't really able to use points the way that I wanted to. And then I started to realize that when you're using points in certain areas, hotels, they don't have the same, I wasn't able to stay in the hotels that I wanted to stay in. Okay, I generally love staying at Hyatt properties, but you guys know how Hyatt is. Hyatt is a very small footprint, and so they didn't have too many Hyatt properties in the areas that I wanted to stay in. And so just things like that. So I had to pay. I couldn't use the points and stuff like that. And as far as traveling, since this is a family trip, I really wanted to try to do it without using points because I don't know if you guys have been checking airfare using points to fly. It is incredibly, I won't say expensive. It's a lot of points that you need to use unless you really hit those sweet spots, but you have to be flexible. And I couldn't really be flexible because I'm traveling with my family. Okay. So when I'm traveling alone, I can be as flexible as I want to. I'm retired now, so I can pick the days that I want to travel. But when you're traveling with other people, yes, you have to be flexible and you have to listen. Okay, well, you can go on this day. Okay, you can go on this day. And we'll also be doing a cruise as well on this trip. So we had to be there at a certain time. So we didn't have the flexibility that I really wanted to have to use points. But I have a lot of points built up now, and so I'll be using those. If you guys are in here, just let me know you're here. Just let me know you can hear me, you can see me, all that good stuff. Also, let me know where you're watching me from. That helps me out so I know that things are working properly, and you're not just looking at a blank screen, or you're not just looking at me, but you can't hear what I'm saying. So just let me know that you guys are able to see and hear me. All right, so we're going to get started. The card I want to talk about today is the Citi Premier, the Strata Premier. This is kind of a new, it's a revamped card. Okay. Now I had the original way back when they first launched the whole thank you points. So this is going back, man, this is probably 6-7 years ago when Citi started launching their thank you points. And so they had the Citi Premier and the Prestige. And then they always had that double cash card, so they had that one. So that was kind of the trifecta, the cards that you wanted to get, that ecosystem. So I got the Premier, and then I had the Citi Advantage, the American Airlines credit card. Those are the two credit cards that I had from Citi. Now I had the Premier for a while, and I think the sign up bonus at that time was like 60,000 points. I got the 60,000 points, and I used those points, and I think I used those on if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. Oh, I actually made a huge mistake. I made a huge mistake and learned from this mistake. Okay. Um, and I believe it was the thank you points. I'm almost positive it was. So what I did is I had the points, and I didn't know anything about this. Was the Citi Premier was the first like bank. How can I say this? It was the first like if you think of like a universal card, they're different types of cards. Okay, so you have the Advantage American Airlines card. That is for American Airlines. But then you also have like the bank will issue card. So Citi issues the Premier card, or Citi issues the Prestige card, or Chase has the Reserve and the Preserve. So those cards, or did I say Preserve? The Preferred. Those cards are, bank branded cards, and you can use them with different travel partners. So when it comes to Citi, that Citi Premier was the first card that I got, was like, a bank card where I can use the different travel partners and all that stuff. Prior to that, I just had the Advantage card, that American Airlines card. That was the first card I got, and then I got the Premier. So when I had the Premier, I'm thinking, okay, well, I want to transfer these points over to an airline so I can, fly. And at the time, it was I believe it was Virgin America. And the mistake that I made is that I transferred all the points over to that card. Or I'm sorry, I transferred all those points over to the Virgin America airline. And so now I'm stuck. And at the time, I think it was like 60,000 points that I transferred over. And I didn't get 1-to-1. I actually got half. So I ended up transferring like 60,000 points, but I only ended up with 30,000 on the Virgin American account. And so that was a huge mistake. I don't know what I was thinking, but at the time I didn't know any better, and that's what I did. Never do that. If you ever have points on a credit card that is a card that you can use with different travel partners, keep the points on that card, on like if it's the Premier, the keep it on that card, and then when you're ready to fly, whatever airline it is, then you transfer the points, and you only transfer enough for that flight. You don't just transfer all your points over thinking, I can just transfer them all over there because I'll just fly on Virgin America. No, because Virgin America doesn't go everywhere. And so now I'm stuck with all my points sitting on that card. Now I remember Virgin America, they ended up doing a partnership, I think, with Alaska. I can't really remember. This was years ago. This is like 7 years ago, 7 years ago. And so when they did that merger, then those points ended up going over to Alaska Airlines, which I was able to use them for an American Airlines flight, I believe. I think that's how I ended up getting out of that whole situation. But don't ever do that. I made that huge mistake. But anyway, all right. So hopefully you guys can hear me and see me because nobody's put anything in the chat. I realize there's not too many people in here, but if you guys can do me that favor, just say thumbs up so I know, hey, you guys can hear me and see me. That would be great. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this card, the Citi Premier or the Citi Strata Premier card, and I'm going to show you the reasons why I think this is a good card and the reason why I actually applied for this card. So I did apply for it. I did get it. I got the card. And so I'm going to add it to my collection. Right now I have 14 travel credit cards. Actually, I got all my cards right here. I'll show you what I'm working with when it comes to these cards. Now, understand this. When it comes to travel credit cards, some of them have annual fees, okay? So I am paying annual fees on some of these cards, and some of them you pay a pretty hefty annual fee. But as long as you can get the benefits out of that card every year, then it makes sense. So you have to travel. So if you're getting these travel credit cards, you're going to need to travel. If you're not traveling, it's not going to work. Now, the last 6 months or almost 6 months, I haven't traveled. The last trip that I took was in December. So I haven't traveled this year at all. And so now I'm going to get up to start traveling. It's travel season. I'm going to be out going everywhere, and I'll be getting use out of the benefits of these cards. So first card here is the Venture X. Okay. I like this card. This is a good card. I don't know if does it focus? Yeah, it does focus. Okay. So the Venture X Capital One, this is the first Capital One card that I picked up, and it's good. It has a $300 travel credit, but you have to use it with their portal, which, I have mixed feelings about using the portal. But if I'm in a pinch and I have to use points, then I'll go with that. I shouldn't say use points. If I'm in a pinch and I have to use like a portal and I can't use points, then I'll go through the portal and maybe book a couple of nights at a hotel. So $300, I'll get the $300 value out of that card. Okay, next card here is the Bonvoy. Which one is this one? Boundless? Yeah, this is the Boundless card. So I got this probably, when did I get this card? I want to say I got it late last year. And Marriott card, I don't stay at Marriott properties that often, but I wanted to have an alternative to Hyatt. And so that's the reason why I got that card, because at the time it was the best card to get. Okay, and then I've had this card. This was my first card. First travel credit card that I ever got, the Advantage American Airlines card. I actually kept it. It's a Platinum Select. I was going to get rid of this card, and I ended up keeping it. And the main reason that I kept it is because they kept sending me offers. They were pretty smart. Citi's pretty smart because I was going to get rid of the card. I got the card. I hit the sign-up bonus. It was like 60,000 points. And then I used the points, and so I just had the card, and this is a terrible card for earning points. Okay, it's terrible. You don't want to use it. You don't get good value out of it. The only real benefit of the Advantage card is, you get free bags, free check bags. Check bags, free check bags. So that's good. But other than that, it's not a good card. It really isn't. It's not a good everyday, you don't use it for everyday spend. But what Citi was doing back then is twice a year, they would send me a promotion. And in that promotion, they would say, if you put your money, put money into a bank account and you keep it in there for, I think it was like 90 days or something like that. And then you do these little spin things. And it was always the same thing. And they did it twice a year, or they offered it twice a year. And so I would do it, and then they would give me like 50,000 points just for doing that, for that 3 months. And the 50,000 points would go to my Advantage card. So it would go to that account, okay? So when I say the Advantage card, I mean actually it would go to my Advantage account, my American Airlines Advantage account. So I would do it, and I was doing this. I did it for at least 4 years straight. And so it made me keep the card because it's like, you know what, I might as well keep it. I'm paying $95 annual fee, but I'll keep it because I'm still getting these points. Next card I have here is the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Okay, I used to have both the Reserve. Let's see if that. I used to have both the Reserve and the Preferred, but I got rid of the Preferred because I didn't need it anymore. I downgraded to a Freedom Flex card, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, the next card. I held out on this card for a long time. Okay, I held out probably. I got the Chase ecosystem first, and then I held out on this card. I don't want to say I didn't want to get it, but I didn't have a need to get it. I was waiting for the Centurion Lounge in Los Angeles. At the time, they didn't have a Centurion Lounge there. They were just started to open up the Centurion Lounges. And so I waited until after that. And then after they got the lounge, and I still waited a little bit, and I said, you know what? It was almost 3 years ago. 2.5 years. Was it 2.5 years ago? Yeah, 2.5 years ago. I was thinking, you know what? I'm getting ready to retire. I might as well go ahead and get this card because I know I'm going to be traveling more. So this is the card that I got. the American Express Platinum. So I like the card. I use some of the credits that they give you. The travel credit I have not used this year, so I'll be using that. The Centurion lounges, I will tell you, Centurion lounges are very nice, very nice. The Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve, they actually have one lounge right now. I think they're opening up some more lounges in the very near future. They might actually have a couple of them open already, but I went to the one in Boston, and so just comparing the two, just so you guys know, when it comes to Centurion lounges, they have more. They have one in Las Vegas. They have one in Los Angeles. They have them around the U.S., and I don't know if they're in other countries yet. I don't know. But the Centurion lounges are good. The food is good. The atmosphere is good, but it's very, very busy. There's so many people in there. It's just, I mean, it's you're not getting peace and quiet in there. There's just people everywhere. But the food, it's worth it. Just to go in there to get the food is worth it, in my opinion. Now, the Chase Sapphire, what do they call it? The Sapphire Lounge, or the Chase Sapphire Reserve card allows you to go into the Sapphire Lounge. I went into one in Boston. Very nice. Very nice. In my opinion, it's a step above the American Express, the Centurion lounges. And the food was excellent. I'm telling you, I've never had better food in a lounge than in that Chase Sapphire Lounge. It was amazing how good the food was. And the way they have it set up is you go in there and they have little food that you can get, like more like finger foods, and then desserts and stuff like that. And then they have coffee and drinks and, alcohol and all that kind of stuff. They have a full-on bar, so you can go sit at the bar and have them pour you drinks. And then you have on the table, they just have the little barcodes, menu, so you can just hold your phone over the menu, and then you order what you want, and they'll bring it out to you. So I had a burger. I had I wanted to sample things. So I had a burger, and they had like I think some kind of chicken parmesan sandwich. So I got that, and then I got some French fries and stuff like that. But the food was good, and so they're cooking it up in the back, and they'll bring it out to you, bring it out to your table, because each table has that little barcode. So when you scan it, they know what table you're sitting at. So excellent. If you're ever in Boston and you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, make sure you go to that Sapphire Lounge. I had to walk all the way to the other side of the airport just to go there, but it was worth it. Definitely worth it. Okay. Let's see. So we talked about. Okay, I got two. Okay, I got two of the same cards. One of them is expired. So one of my the Advantage cards expired. So next card. So I guess that would make it, what is it, 12? I got the numbers and everything on here. Okay, so I got to cover this one up because everything is on the front. So this is the Plus, the Chase Ink Plus card. Okay, so that's a business card. I do have a business, so that's why I got that card. I have the Chase Freedom card. That's the Freedom. This is the Freedom Unlimited. So I just got this card. That was a newer card that I picked up just to kind of fill out my Chase ecosystem. And then this is the Chase Ink Unlimited card. So the Chase Ink Unlimited and the Chase Freedom Unlimited, they're pretty much very similar. Now, the earn possibility is different on the cards, but they're pretty much the same. They do the same thing. And right here, we have the World of Hyatt card, okay? My absolute favorite hotel, my go-to hotel. Whenever I have an opportunity, I will stay there. Okay, now, I got to explain this card. There's nothing on this card, right? Yeah. So, I got this Royal Caribbean card, all right? This is a Bank of America card. The reason why I got it is because I'll be going on a trip. And that's the only reason that I got it. There's no annual fee on the card. That's one of the other reasons why I said, you know what, it makes sense. I can go ahead and get it because there's no annual fee. So I went ahead and got it. The sign up, I think it was sign up bonus was 300 or 30,000 points. So equivalent to $300. I can use that as onboard credit. So I'll use it as onboard credit when I go. And I don't go on cruises very often, but since there was no annual fee on the card, it just made sense for me to get it just for the trip. All right, business cash card. This is the ink card as well, another Chase card. And then the Chase Freedom Flex card. I think you can see it. I'm trying to just cover up all the numbers and everything so nobody will be taking my taking money out of my, or charging up my credit card. And then we have the United Business MileagePlus card. I used to fly on United a lot. That was my go-to airline. And those are all the cards that I have so far. And then I just applied for that Premier, the Strata card, the Citi card. So United, I used to fly on them a lot, but they're the points now. I mean, you have to be very, very flexible to find a good flight when you're using points, because some of their points is just outrageous. It's like, I like to fly business class, okay, and I like to use points to fly business class. But I used to be able to fly. I like to go to South America. I fly out to South America. It was like 35,000 points one way, so 70,000 points for a round trip. But now it's like 90,000 points one way, and down to South America. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't understand why it's so much now. But even when you're trying to be flexible, they're doing that. And then what United does, and this is one thing that I really don't like, is you'll use points, and then they'll have a mixed cabin. So let's say you have a couple of, let's say you have 2 stops, and it'll be a mixed cabin. So one of those flights will be business class, but then the other flight will be an economy seat. So it's like you're using the amount of points for a business class flight, but you're getting a business class flight and you're getting an economy seat. It's just not worth it. So I stopped transferring my Chase points over to United, and I've been actually flying a lot on American Airlines. You're going to South America right now. If you're going to South America, American Airlines is very good. But I'm not using points. I'm actually just buying the tickets because they're affordable. $400 or $500 one way business class, so $1,000 round trip. It's not bad at all for a business class. And if you do some research and you fly on the right planes, you can get a really good experience, business class experience, lie flat seat, all of that. You fly on one of the the A330, or you fly on the Dreamliner 787 or 777, you're good. I don't think, actually, American Airlines, I don't think they fly the Airbus A330. So if you fly, I've flown on a 777, I've flown on a 787. Business class is just, man, it's a good experience. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna get over to the card here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys what I look for in a travel credit card. So let me get this off the screen. All right. So before, and I made a mistake signing up for this card, and I'll tell you what I did. So I just went to Citi, and it said, okay, Citi Strata Premier, up the top here. That's what it says. And I'm like, okay, this is great. I got the right place. So I went ahead and I applied here. So I clicked that apply button. It took me over. I already have an account with Citi, so it took me over to my account, and then I went ahead and signed up. Well, what I should have done is I should have looked for the best sign-up offer, and I didn't do that. If you notice here, sign-up offer is what? Earn 70,000 bonus points. The best sign-up offer currently will get you 75,000. So I messed up, and I called them to let them know, hey, I wanted that offer, the 75,000. And so they're saying, well, we have to see. Basically, they're telling me I need to email the rewards department. So I haven't even emailed them yet. I haven't received the card yet, but I'll email them and just let them know, hey, you know what? I really wanted this offer. I didn't want the 70,000, but realistically, we're talking about 5,000 points. But it's it's equivalent to $50. So it's it's a little bit of money there, right? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so what I like to do, and I'm gonna kind of show you what I do when I start looking at these cards. So I have this system that I've it's it's something that's in my head all the time when I'm thinking about getting another card. I use what's called the STEPS program or the STEPS strategy. Okay, now this is something that I just thought of, and I thought of this I thought of it a long time ago. This is probably 6 years ago, but I just started sharing it. Maybe I shared it. Maybe I did mention it way back on my other channel. But so this is how it works. So the STEPS program, there are certain things that you need to look for, in my opinion. There are certain things you need to look for to see if a card makes sense. And not all cards are going to make sense to you. Okay. Some of them will, some of them are just not going to be a good fit for your lifestyle. Some people think, I showed you guys all those cards that I have. Some of those cards have very high annual fees. Okay, American Express Platinum, $695. It's high, right? Do I get that value out of it every year? It's close. I'll just say that. It's close. I definitely enjoy the Centurion Lounge. I use the credits. Most of the credits. The only one I don't use is like the Saks Fifth Avenue credit. I don't use that credit because realistically, I can't find anything that's $50, $50 on their website. So you got to really do some research when it comes to that. But when it comes to the Uber Eats credit, I use that every month. Or Uber, I usually use Uber Eats because if I'm at home, I don't need to use Uber. But when I'm traveling, I use Uber. The travel credits, I will use those. The fine hotels, I will if it makes sense, I will use. It's not really a credit. Well, they do give you a credit, but you have to spend money to get the credit. So I get some use out of the American Express Platinum. It was one of those cards where I was kind of, I don't know if I want to get it. I got it. I'm managing with it. But the other cards, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I get my credits every year. I get the value out of that card every year. They have a $300 travel credit. You don't have to do anything special. All you need to do is just use it for travel, and they will, give you the credit. And then just some of the other little perks that it has that makes sense. Okay. So when I'm using the STEPS program or the STEPS strategy, so the first thing I'm looking at, sign-up bonus, okay? So that's the first thing. And then I'm looking at the travel partners. Very important that you look at the travel partners because you don't want to get a card. Let's see, I'm spelling that wrong. Partner. You don't want to get a card that doesn't have good travel partners. Because if you're getting one of these bank branded cards, they need to have good travel partners. I need to be able to transfer those points to some good airlines and good hotels. That's in my opinion, you need to look at that. When I say good, I just mean the hotels that suit your needs, the airlines that suit your needs, the airlines with the best value for points, that kind of stuff. That's what you want to look for. Okay, and then E would be earn possibility, and we'll talk about the earn possibility in a minute. And then P is perks. So I like cards that have additional perks. They have different things on there that will bring you to the card. Or when I say bring you, I mean different little things that you can get on that card that you might not be able to get on other cards. Some cards will give you the lounge access. Okay, so you're not going to get lounge access with every card, but like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you're going to get the priority pass and now the Chase Sapphire Reserve has these Sapphire lounges that they're starting to open up. Those will be good. The American Express Platinum has the Centurion lounges. These are perks that you're going to get with that card, but you're not going to find those with other cards. The TSA pre-check, global entry, you get credits for that. Just a credit overall, the travel credit, $300 travel credit with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, just things like that. Those are the perks that I'm looking for. And then the last thing, and this is, it's basically sustainability. What am I doing here? Sustainability. All right. We're missing. All right. You guys get the point. my pen is too thick. But anyway, sustainability. So we have sign up bonus, travel partners, earn possibility perks, and sustainability. Or the easier way to put it is, does this card make sense? Okay. So it could be sense or sustainability, however you want to see it. But when I look at sustainability, what I'm looking at is this a card that I can keep for years down the road? Or is this just a card that I like? A good example of a card that is going to go into my drawer, my sock drawer, is this card right here. This Royal Caribbean card that I got, this Bank of America card. The earn possibility on this card is terrible. I got this card because of the trip, and that's it. I'm not going to use the card anymore after that. And so it's just going to go in my drawer. Now, the fact that this card doesn't have an annual fee, it makes sense. I can get the card, put it in my drawer, use it every once in a while just to keep the credit line open. But it makes sense to do that, to have that card, because it doesn't have an annual fee. I'm not going to be paying anything every year on that card. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, you guys see what the steps strategy is. Let's take a look at this card, and I'll explain to you why I'm getting the card. Now, and this was actually kind of this was a decision that I made, but it was kind of a close decision, or not close, but it was I was on the fence about getting this card. Let's just put it that way. And I'll explain to you why. Because the first thing that we talked about was the sign-up bonus, okay? So right now, the sign-up bonus on this one is showing $70,000. As I stated before, $75,000. You can get the $75,000 sign-up bonus, okay? It's still available. It's right here. I just looked this up today. So you can do that. Just type in, and what I would do is type in Citi Strata Premier 75,000 sign-up bonus, and it's on their website. It'll come up. But make sure, and the only reason I'm using this one up here is because this is the one that I already had. I just wanted to show you, hey, there is a difference. So if you are signing up for the card, make sure you go to the 75,000. So this should be a 75,000. All right? Because if you sign up, if you hit the wrong link and you sign up for the 70,000, they're going to give you the 70,000 unless you call them. And I don't even know. Like, I called them. They told me I need to email, so I'm going to email. I'll let you guys know what they say. I don't see why they wouldn't give me, honor that, because it's on their website and it's a current promotion. It's not like the promotion is no longer available. And it was current when I signed up for the card. Okay, so first thing you look at, sign-up bonus. Now, how do you get this sign-up bonus? You need to spend $4,000 within the first 3 months in order to qualify for the sign-up bonus. This is redeemable for $700 in gift cards. Never use, unless you absolutely have to, don't use points for gift cards. You want to get the best value possible. And the best value that you're going to get is going to be with the travel rewards, using it for as thank you points, using it with the travel partners. That's the best value that you're going to get. Okay, you're not going to get good value by just getting gift cards. Now, you could do that, and what some businesses do this all the time. They'll run those cards up, so they're using those credit cards for all their purchases, and then they'll get gift cards, but they're getting the gift cards as like gifts, right? Like gift cards for gifts, but they're not getting them for themselves. They're actually getting them to give out as gifts. So that, that could make sense. All right. So the next thing we look at is, and the annual fee, obviously it plays a role, and that's where it comes to, does this make sense? Okay. So the annual fee on this card is $95. Does that make sense? We'll talk about that at the very end. Okay. Because usually you want to know, is it going to make sense in the long run with the card? Okay. But you have to look at all the different factors, and we haven't looked at those factors yet. So once we look at that, then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Okay, so they're also saying here, if you have the Citi Premier card, and so let's say the account, and so if you had that account open in the last 48 months, then you're not going to qualify for the sign-up bonus for this card. Okay, so just be aware of that. Now, I had a Citi Premier card, but I got rid of that card probably 5 years ago, and I got the card probably 7 years ago. So it's been a long time. All right. So one other thing I like to look at when I'm looking at these websites, what are they showing me right off, right away? Like, how are they selling this card to me? Because of course, when they design the web page, they want to bring your attention to certain things, and so I always look at that. So what's in the, what's in big letters? What's the big font? And when you're looking at the big font, what do you see? First thing you see is a sign-up bonus. Okay, so that's one thing that they're trying to really get my attention on. And then, I guess you can even say, well, no, we won't say that. But next thing here, $100 annual hotel benefit. Okay, they want to get my attention when it comes to that. And then big font here, the earn possibility. Okay, so how can you earn on this with this card? So those are the key things that they're really trying to promote. And then if you look even on this is the other website that's showing the 75,000 bonus points, which is really strange, right? Because the other one, 70,000, you see how big the font was. On this one, it's bold, but it's not a big font. You can almost miss that when you're looking at this, right? They really don't want you to get that 75,000. I might have a hard time getting the 75,000 now that I'm thinking about it, because they're really not promoting that 75,000, right? It's very small. And then what they have here, of course, they're going to have the 10x points. They're promoting that, and the 3x points, then 1x points. So we'll go over all this in a second. And then the hotel credit. Okay, that's what they're really promoting. And then I actually cut off the rest of that page, but we're not going to be looking at that one. We'll be looking at this one because it has more information on it. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, just kind of what I look for when I'm looking at the website, and what are they trying to sell me? They're trying to sell me on these different items, right? Okay, so the hotel credit. I'm not a fan of this hotel credit that they're giving. And I'll tell you the main reason why. So once per calendar year, enjoy $100 off a single hotel stay of $500 or more, excluding taxes and fees. So what they're doing is they're going to give you a credit, but they're giving you that credit only if you spend $500 or more at a hotel. Okay, and you have to go through their travel portal. So you have to go through their travel portal, which I don't really like using these travel portals. Like, I don't like to use the Citi travel portal. The Venture X has a travel portal. American Express, the American Express Platinum has one. Chase. I don't really like to use the travel portals. I will use them if, for the credits. Like Venture X, I'll use the travel credit or the travel portal so I can get the $300 credit. But the great thing about the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you don't have to use their portal. It's not required. All you need to do is use it for travel, and you'll get the $300 credit on your account. So they have the best. They have the best credit setup. The other ones you have to go through their portal, which I don't like doing. But if I can use it and get the credits, and I'll go ahead and do it. Now, I just don't like the way that they have this set up where you have to spend $500 in order to get the credit. I don't like that. I really don't. Now, will I use it? Absolutely. I can see situations where I'm going to spend $500, so I might as well use this card and get $100 off of my my stay. So I will use it, but I just don't like the way it's set up. Okay, so every year I'll use it every year. I can see that. But this suits my needs, and it suits my needs because when I'm traveling, I'm going to be out, I'm going to be in situations where it's like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Let me go ahead and book this hotel. book it for 3 nights. It's over $500, and I'll get $100 credit for that. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. And then when you start tying the cards together, where I can use this card for that for a few nights, and then use the American Express Platinum, use their portal, and get a credit for a few more nights, and then the Venture X for you. If you want to really work it that way, you can. But I'm not a huge fan of how this is all set up, and I have not used the citytravel.com before, so I don't really know. Are you getting good value? I've heard that the value isn't as good as if you just go to some of these other third-party sites. So I'll have to experience that once I look into it. Okay, so the reason that I got this card is for the earn possibilities on this card. Okay. The perks, not so much, but the earn possibilities on this card are very, very good. And that's why I got this card. I got this card with, in my head, I'm thinking this is going to be my everyday card. This is going to be the card that I spend on all my everyday purchases for the most part. Not all of them, but most of my everyday purchases. And I'll show you the reason why. When it comes to travel, let's look at this first. This has to go through the travel portal. Okay, you get 10x points, earn 10 points for $1 spent on hotel, car rental, and attractions booked on citytravel.com. Now, I have not used citytravel.com like I stated. I don't really know if I'm going to use it to get the 10x points. In my opinion, that's not the main reason that I got this card. Those 10x points, I'll look at it, but for the most part, it's probably going to be a no-go. I like to stay at Hyatt properties. I think you get what 9x, or you might even get 10x on the World of Hyatt card. You get a lot. I know it's at least 9, so I can get 9 points per every 9 points for every dollar spent. Yeah. Is that right? 9 points I can get 9 points for every dollar spent on the World of Hyatt card. So I might as well use that card, right? And so that's my whole thought process. I can stay at a Hyatt hotel. I don't really need to use this card for that. But it's good to know that you have it. You can get 10x points on that. Now, understanding if you really don't know what the point structures are, the point values differ between different cards, but the easy rule of thumb here is for and you can just look at what they're showing here. So if you're looking at 70,000 points, they're saying it's equivalent to $700. Okay, 1 cent per point. Okay, that's basically the way that you can think about things. That is the bare minimum value that you can get with those points. You should be able to get much more, and if you start using the transfer partners, that's where you get a much better deal with the card. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So if I'm transferring my points, and there's like a sweet spot where I can transfer my points over to an airline and use that airline to fly business class, or I'm really starting to get value. I'm getting much more value out of those points than the 1 cent per point. I might get 2 cents or 3 cents per point. And so it just makes sense to use your points in situations like that. Okay, so getting back to the earn possibility, this is a good one here. Okay, so earn 3 points for every dollar spent on air travel and other hotel purchases. Actually, this is not the good one because I can get better value with different cards. I can use my Chase Reserve card, Chase Sapphire Reserve. I'm going to get 3 points for hotel stays if I want to do that. If it's not a Hyatt, if it's a Hyatt, I'm going to use a Hyatt card. I'm getting better value out of that card. Air travel, I can also get 3 points for every dollar spent with the Chase card. So in this category, not so much. And I would want to use one like a Chase Sapphire Reserve because you have better travel insurance. And so I know they've changed your travel insurance with the Citi card, the Citi Premier card, but I would still go to the card that's going to give me the best travel insurance, even though I'm going to get, I'm probably going to get, I will get I'll get third party travel insurance as well, but I do like to just use the best card to get different, baggage fees and stuff like that. Not baggage fees, lost luggage and things like that. Okay, so this is where I'm using the card. 3X, I keep saying this. This is also, right now, I'll use the card for that because I want to hit the sign up bonus. But it's either or now because I can use this card or I can use the Chase Sapphire Reserve. You're getting 3 points for every dollar spent at restaurants. So it's equivalent. Okay. So this matches one of the cards that I have that will give me that same value. I don't have the American Express gold card yet. And if I had the gold card, I can get good value as well. But I don't have that card. But now we're getting to it. I keep saying now. Okay, so now we're getting to the reason why I got the card. 3X at supermarkets. I don't have a card right now that gives me 3X at supermarkets. And so this is going to be my go-to card when it comes to that. However, this is a MasterCard, which means that I can use it at the regular grocery store, but I like to go to Costco too. So I can't use it at Costco because Costco doesn't take MasterCard. So that's unfortunate, but I will be using it when I go to the grocery store. Any grocery store I go to, I will use it. I have one of my Chase Ink cards I can use at like Staples, like the, what is it? Staples and what's the other one? Home Office Max or whatever it is. I can use it there and get 5 points, the Chase Ink card. So I do use that on occasion, but I don't go to those places that often. And you have to kind of think about things like, okay, what I was doing for a while, and I stopped doing this, but I would go to Staples and get some of the items that I knew I could get at the grocery store, but I can get them at Staples, and I get the 5 points for every dollar spent. So I would do that, but it's just too much. It gets to the point where it's too much work. It's like, okay, now I got to go. I want to get paper towels. I want to get some water. I want to get some other little things. Let me go to Staples and get them instead of going to the grocery store because I get 5 points for every dollar spent. So I kind of got lazy with that. So I haven't been doing that for a while. But it's good to know 3 points for every dollar spent when it comes to supermarkets. And then gas stations. This is another good one here. So you're getting 3 points for every dollar spent at gas stations. I think that is, really good. I don't have an electric vehicle, but I might get one in the future, so it would be good. You get 3 points for every dollar spent at the charging stations. So these two categories right here are the main reason why I'm going to use this card. It's going to be an everyday card because I get gas, not every day, but I get gas maybe once a week. I go to the grocery store maybe every other day or maybe, twice a week. And so I'm going to be using this card for the majority of those purchases. And then when it comes to restaurants, for right now, yes, I'll use the card. I can use this one or I can use a Chase Sapphire Reserve. I can kind of go back and forth with those cards, and I'm getting good value and I'm earning points. So it makes sense. Now, I don't have an ecosystem with Citi yet, so it's if I build an ecosystem, then I would use a card even more. If I get a double cash card, if I might look, I don't think Citi has launched their new Prestige card yet, but that could be something that I look at in the future and build an ecosystem. Since I already have a Chase ecosystem, I can work on an American Express ecosystem, and then I can have a Citi ecosystem as well. Okay. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss. But then just looking at the trip delay protection, so you do have that, trim cancellation. This is all good stuff. Lost or damaged luggage, and then the rental car insurance. But if I'm using, I want to use the card that's going to give me the best coverage, and I'm going to get that with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So that's the card that I would use for this category here. And basically what you need to do is if you use a card for, let's say if you use a card for when you're booking your airfare, things like that, then you qualify for the trip cancellation and all that stuff. So that's why I would go with that. The good thing about the Advantage card, the Advantage airline card, credit card, is you don't have to use that card in order to get the free check bags. You just need to have that account. If you have that account, and you're flying with American Airlines, then they will give you the free check bag. Or if you're flying business class, you're going to get a free check bag, at least one free check bag anyway. Sometimes you get two. So that's that. But that's the reason why I'm going with this card. Now remember, this sign-up bonus is no good. You want the 75,000. Okay, so make sure you use the other. Make sure you do a search so you can get the 75,000 that's right here. All right. So, if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the chat. And yeah, I just wanted to go over that with you guys. And I want to keep doing doing live streams, so this is not going to be the only one that I do. So make sure if you're catching this and it's not live, which there are not very many people in here. We've only kind of gone up and down, but I don't think we reached, wow. I just looked down at it right now. If you catch this and it's not live, just understand I'm going to be doing more live streams. So I'm going to be back to back live streams. So come join us. We're going to talk about travel stuff, and I'll tell you about some different experiences that I've had. I'll tell you how I've used points in order to travel to different places, some of the stories that I have out there. So I really wanted to get the channel launched again, the Travel Explorer Click channel. I had it before on another channel, and I had to change the name because I started going off topic. And basically the reason why, and I've talked about this before, but I have this channel now, the TEC Show. And mainly I talk about retirement stuff on that channel now. I've kind of switched the whole topic. But I used to talk about travel credit cards on that channel. But what happened is we had the pandemic happen, basically. So when the pandemic happened, everything shut down when it came to travel. So I didn't have anything to talk about. And so I started talking about different topics. I talked about stimulus checks, and then everybody just they gravitated to the stimulus check stuff. And that was the talk at the time. And so I talked about that. But what was happening is the channel changes, right? The channel evolves because now you have new people coming in and watching. At the time, I had 10,000 subscribers. And then when I started talking about the stimulus check stuff, I had all these new subscribers coming in. And that's all they wanted to hear about was the stimulus check. You know, when is this next stimulus check coming out and all that? So I talked about that. And I talked about that for at least a year and a half because I think we received, three stimulus checks at the time, $1,200 stimulus check, $600, and then a $1,400 stimulus check. So all of that time I was talking about stimulus checks. And then at the end of that, I ended up retiring from my job, and then I started talking about retirement, Social Security, and things like that. Because when it came to retirement, one of the things that I didn't know, and I received a pension when I retired, but I didn't realize that my Social Security was going to be cut due to what they call the Windfall Elimination Act. So WEP would cut my benefits. And so that's when I got onto the Social Security stuff because I had no idea about it. I was angry. And so I started talking about it, and then other people started saying, yeah, you know what? This is happening to us too. And so then I just started talking about Social Security overall, just the program and then retirement and stuff. So that's where I am right now when it comes to that channel. But I've always wanted to continue talking about travel credit cards and travel and all that. But unfortunately, I had this other channel, but I didn't really think about, you know what, I'll just relaunch the channel. I didn't really think about it that way. And so now I'm doing it. So now I'm relaunching it. So I'll be on frequently doing live streams. So make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell notification. That way you'll get notified when we put out videos. And we're just going to talk about travel. And I do vlogs and stuff, and so I have some vlogs on this channel already. I'm going to continue to do the vlogs, and I'm going to try to do both. Okay, the vlogs, and then I'll let you guys know some different pointers when it comes to how to save money when you travel, because I'm telling you, these travel credit cards, and understand this, and I should have said this at the very beginning of this live stream. Let me repeat, only get travel credit cards if you if you are paying them off every month in full. Don't ever carry a balance on any credit card, but specifically on a travel credit card, because the APR, which I never talk about because it shouldn't be a factor, but let me show you. The APR on these credit cards are really high. Okay, it's variable here. It says it's variable, 21.24 to 29.24%. That is horrible. You don't want to be paying that interest. Okay, so never get these travel credit cards with the intention of, okay, I'll use it for emergencies and then I'll pay it off over time. Never do that. Never. All these credit cards that I showed you, all the credit cards that I have, I pay them off every month in full. Now, I don't use every credit card. I have a lot, but I don't use them for all of my purchases. And some month I might go without using the card at all. But I make sure I pay them off in full every month. Never carry a balance, because you're just throwing those points that you're earning, you're just throwing those away. The reason why these credit card companies offer you points is to entice you to get the card, because they know the average person is going to run a balance and they're going to be paying interest. But if you don't do that, then you win. You use the card, make sure you have money in the bank, you pay it off, you win. That is the key. And people, they don't do it. I've had some friends, and this is hard. And I feel a little responsible, but I told them from the beginning, look, this is the way you have to do this. But I've had some friends, and I have in the description, I have the referral links, and so I'll tell them, hey, yeah, you just go to my channel and take a look at the credit card, and then use my sign up, my referral link. They use the referral link. I get little points and stuff like that. And I've had a few friends that have gotten credit cards, and they're not paying them off in full every month, and they're running a balance. And I call them out, not call them out, but I say, hey, so are you paying it every month? They don't want to answer. It's like, oh, come on, you have to do that, because you're throwing the points away if you don't do that. With the card that we were just talking about today, this Premier card. I guess I didn't really talk about, does it make sense? It makes sense for me only because I'm going to be using it as an everyday card. So it does make sense. It also makes sense because that first year you're getting the sign-up bonus. And as we stated, let me go down. I don't want to confuse you guys. So let's just go down here and look at the 75,000. This is the one that you should be getting. So you get the 75,000 bonus points. That's good. And you can use that for when you're flying within the U.S., you might be able to stretch it to 2 economy flights in the U.S., 2 round-trip tickets. You might be able to stretch it to do that. When it comes to business class, you could, if you work it right, you could fly business class. Domestic, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get it domestic. If you're flying to South America, depending on the travel partners. We didn't even talk about the travel partners. I think they did show them on here. Yeah, let me show you guys this real quick. Because this is something that I talked about as a criteria. So when it comes to the travel partners, okay, so the steps strategy that I use, travel partners is a big part of them. So when we're looking at travel partners, you get True Blue, you get Virgin Atlantic Flying Club, you get Singapore Airlines, Chris Flyer. So you have some good transfer partners. Now you're looking at these transfer partners and you're thinking, I'm not flying on those airlines. I've never flown on those airlines. Why would I want to use those? They have these airlines have alliances. Okay, I guess alliances is the right word. Are just basically airline partners. So if I'm flying on American Airlines, they have partners all over the world. And that's how you're able to use points. A good example is, let's say I want to use points on American Airlines and I want to fly to Spain. I can fly. I can book my flight using points on, or I would probably want to use Avios points because they're better value. But I want to simplify it just for this purpose. Okay, I'm not going to use. I probably wouldn't use American Airlines points, but I just want to simplify it for you so you understand. So let's say I have points on my Advantage card, my American Airlines setup, and I say, okay, I want to fly to Spain. Well, American Airlines doesn't fly to Spain, but Iberia Air flies to Spain. It's a Spanish airline. And so I can book my flight on American Airlines, use points to book that flight, and they will say, okay, you'll be flying on Iberia Air. And so that's how that works. So they have transfer partner or travel. They have alliances with these different partners or airlines. And so United has their alliance. I used to fly United all the time to South America, but guess what? United doesn't fly to. I go to Colombia a lot. United doesn't fly to Colombia, not direct. And so I would fly on Copa Airlines or I'd fly on Avianca, two partners of United. And so I use my points, on United, book my flight on United, and then they would say you're going to be flying on Avianca. And so that's how that all works. And then the same thing, Delta has their partners. So they have them. So they have a footprint all over the world. Anywhere you want to fly, you'll be able to use your points to fly. Now, there's certain airlines that have really good sweet spots, like Singapore Airlines and some of the different ones. They have good sweet spots where you can use their points in the same scenario that I just told you. Just think of it in reverse. Let's say I want to fly in the U.S., but I don't have points on my American Airlines, or I don't have like points on any of the carriers that are out here in the U.S., but I have points on another airline, a foreign airline, let's say different Avios miles or what is it? Gosh. Oh, yeah. I can't think of. Well, we'll just say just Avios points. So you have those points. You can go to an airline, a foreign airline, and say, I want to fly from Los Angeles to New York, and they're going to do the same thing. You can go on their website, book the flight, and they're going to say, okay, you're going to be flying on American Airlines from Los Angeles to New York using those miles, but you're not booking it on on the American Airlines. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's how that all works. It's actually a pretty good system. But what you want to make sure that they have some really strong partners. If they have, when I say they, I'm talking about the credit card that you're getting. If it has strong partners that you can transfer your points to, then you'll have that footprint all over the world, and you'll have different. You'll be able to fly on some really nice. You can have some really nice experiences flying business class and things like that. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at when it comes to the travel partners. All right, so we've looked at that. All right, so I think we're good. I think we talked about everything here. I also want to do. I've done some videos. I've posted some vlogs, and I want to do. I might actually do this. What's today? Wednesday. I might actually. Oh no, I have a live stream on my other channel, so I'll do that live stream. Maybe Friday. Probably Friday. I want to do a video where it's kind of a behind the scenes. Let me see. We might do it right now. Let's see here. Yeah, let me pull. See if we have the audio and everything working. So I've posted some vlogs, and I want to kind of go over the vlogs and just give you guys a behind the scenes of just some of the adventures on these videos, and just kind of let's see, which one should I do? Let me show you guys what I'm looking at. So Let's see. All righty. All right, let's. Ah, that one's too long. 40 minutes. All right, I don't know which one we're gonna do. Let's see. All right, this one's 19 minutes. We'll do this one first. What's going on, everyone? Whoa. Let me do that. And full screen. All right, good. Okay, so these were different travel tips. Now you can go to my channel. Just go to my channel. You can see these. But I just want to talk a little bit about what was in this video, kind of a behind the scenes. You can't really see. I think, is this the... Did I tease this at the very beginning? How are you? Okay, so this guy, I don't know what was going on. I'm walking around, and obviously I have a camera, so I got my camera out, and I'm walking, I'm talking, and this taxi driver, there's actually a guy in the taxi right over my shoulder, and then there's another guy up here. Can you see my mouse? Yeah. There's another guy right here that's just standing on the outside, and these guys are just yelling at me, hey, you're trying to get my attention. I'm thinking, why are they trying to get my attention? So that was just a little awkward. So right now, just so you guys, I'll set the scene for you guys. We're in Cartagena, Colombia. I love going to Cartagena. But this is the problem, or I won't say the problem, but the thing about Cartagena is it's a very small. The area, the tourist area, is a very small area. It's called Boca Grande, and that's where most people stay when you're there visiting. And so you don't really have like one thing that I like about different parts of Colombia, like Medellin, even Barranquilla. You have areas to go, different areas. But in Cartagena, not so much. You're just kind of at the walled city, like the old town, and then Boca Grande. Those are kind of the only real areas that you go. Yosemite, you can go there too, but it's just not, you don't have a lot. Like in Medellin, I can go to different cities, Envigado, Sabaneta, Bello. I can go to different places within, around Medellin. So I don't have to just be in that, and there's no, you can, there's a like kind of a tourist zone there is, but you can be kind of outside and go to different places. And it's just a little different. The way Cartagena is laid out is I feel like I'm more confined to just one area. Okay, so we're going to talk about some tips. We'll go over them too. Buen día, buen día. Buen día. So, and I'm looking over my shoulder thinking, what's going on there? I'm getting robbed or what? Because like I said, it is kind of, you're walking around with it, and I don't have like a real expensive camera. That was like it's a little GoPro, or was it a GoPro? Yeah, it's a little GoPro type camera. It's called an Osmo Action. So it's a little small camera, right? So I'm not really, but I'm still wondering, why are they yelling at me? So I'm kind of looking over my shoulder like, what's going on? Yo. All right. These guys, the guy in the taxi was trying to get my attention. I don't know why. What is going on, everyone? Right. David here. So I'm in beautiful Cartagena, Colombia. And actually, you know what? I stayed in this Airbnb about a month ago. Very, very, very nice apartment complex. Morano Elite. That place is nice. Very nice. If you're in Cartagena and you're looking for an Airbnb, it's called Morano Elites. Very, very nice. Nice balcony. I don't have I'll show it in a different, I have like video of it inside, but I don't have that. I haven't put out a video of that. But yeah, real nice place. And then over here, if you guys can see, you see these dump trucks over to the right. So they're actually redoing the beach, which is it's hopefully the beach in Cartagena is not very nice, but it looks like they're trying to improve it. And what they're doing is they're bringing in sand, more sand, so you have more sand on the beach. And then I think they're gonna have like what they call a malecón, like malecón is like a walkway, kind of out by the water. They'll probably have entertainment, restaurants, and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking they're doing. In Barranquilla, they have a malecón, and that's what it is. It's like a nice walkway, and they have the restaurants and stuff like that. But they don't have it. The malecón is not on a beach in Barranquilla. It's like on a river kind of a setup. But anyway. So today, I want to talk a little bit about the 5 things that right, let's get to the 5 things.
When you're booking your airfare, but it's the easiest to get it when you're booking your airfare, because when you book your airfare, when you come to that last screen, it's going to ask you about travel insurance. And you can get travel insurance if you want from them. Now, the reason that I always tell people to get travel insurance, it's not really for the baggage fees.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to show you guys a different video. This is not going to be very good because it's just like, oh, I'm telling you. So let's find another one. But yeah, travel insurance I would recommend getting. Definitely get travel insurance if you're traveling. Let me see here. If I go back, let's do the soccer one. Was way too long. I'll show you some of it. That's what we'll do. I'll show you some of it, and then we'll watch it. Maybe Friday we'll watch some more.
Downtown.
Okay, so let me set the stage before we watch. Make sure you guys watch these videos too. I don't know if you guys realize, and I do videos every day on my other channel, on the TEC show. I do videos every day, but when it comes to doing the videos every day, they're easy because I'm sitting in one place. I do the research, I have everything together, and then I put out the video. When you do videos like these vlogs, where you're out walking around and doing stuff like that, it takes a lot. It's the whole day you're recording, and then you have to edit it, and it might take a couple of days just to edit the video. So there's a lot of work that goes into these vlogs, and I don't know how people do them, like daily vlogs. I don't know how they do them because it's just crazy. So this we're in Medellin, Colombia. We're in the downtown area, okay, Centro Medellin. So this is where, like any kind of a downtown area where they have all the where all the business is done, right? Where you get the good discounts and So we went out there just to walk around, and then we were also going to buy. We wanted to buy some jerseys, and we were going to a game that night. It's me, my friend Carlos, and my cousin. My cousin's first time in Medellin, Colombia. So he was like, his eyes are just all over the place because it's, it's different. And so this is our first time, or his first time in El Centro, in the center part of Medellin. There's avocados. It's crazy. And those things are very cheap. They're like, man, if I remember, how much were those? It's like 30 cents, 40 cents, something like that. And they're huge. They're as big as my hand. They're really, really big. Right here. There's the game. I have a story to tell you guys about that. It's great. All right, we'll skip through some of this. friend Carlos right there. The flag.
Vamos verde! Vamos verde! What's going on, everyone? David here. We are in downtown El Centro de Medellin. I'm gonna walk around a little bit. I always like doing videos here because there's always a lot of activity, a lot of stuff going on. So here with my cousin's first trip in Medellin. So we're gonna see what's out here, see what's going on today, probably get something to eat, maybe do a little bit of shopping. I can always use another soccer jersey, so we might do.
You know what's funny? I love those glasses, these sunglasses. And the funniest part about it is I got them for free. And I just like, they're not really dark. And I think I have like 3 pair. But it's funny because I went to VidCon. VidCon is like a video conference they have every year. They have it in Anaheim out here in California. So I was like, oh, I might as well go. So I think I've gone 3 times. I think I've been there 3 times. And this last time that I went, they were just giving these away. They had them like, you go in, we went into one of, because, the way VidCon works is they have kind of different setups. They have VidCon for the video creators. They have a VidCon for the fans. And then they have a VidCon for the industry, the people like the people who run TikTok, YouTube, and, all the different social media. And so when you go, you can go to these different classes. So like I was going to some different creator classes where they have people talking about their experience with YouTube and their experience with just video, with just social media in general, influencers basically. And so I went in one and they had glasses. They were just on the chair. And so there weren't that many people in there. And so I sat down, and actually, when I walked in, they gave me a pair, and then when I sat down, there was a pair in my seat, and then I had a seat next to me that I put some of my stuff on. Nobody was sitting, it was a lot of empty seats, and so I just grabbed those guys. So I got 3 of them, and I didn't know any, I just got them just to get them, but they're really nice. I like them. I mean, I'm sure they're not very expensive, but I don't know. I think they look good, and they're those sunglasses that are good that you can walk, you can be indoors and you can still have them on, which I generally don't wear sunglasses indoors, but sometimes you might go in and then come out real quick. So I might just keep them on. These are sunglasses you don't have to take off.
Do that. But I'll show you guys all the scenes, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, where are we?
It's called, we're on downtown Medellin.
Carlos.
We're going by Avenida La Playa.
Avenida La Playa,
Yeah,
okay.
which is this.
Okay, so let me give you just a quick update not an update, but give you some information on Carlos. So Carlos is a taxi driver. And it's funny because when I first met Carlos, I met him, it was about 3 years ago. And Carlos, he's still a taxi driver now. But the way that I met him, I was in a city called Sabaneta. It's near Medellin, but it's not in Medellin. It's not a city, or it's not a part of Medellin. It's its own city. And so I wanted to go to Medellin, and so I'm looking for a cab, and I was having the hardest time finding a cab for whatever reason. But anyway, I walk over, and I see him. I'm speaking my Spanish, asking for a cab, and so he's like, yeah. And so I get in the cab, and I'm speaking Spanish, and at the time, and my Spanish is better now, but at the time it was really, not good. And so he just starts speaking to me in English, and perfect English. And you don't find that in Colombia. It's very, very rare that someone will just come out and speak to you in perfect English, right? Usually they might know some English, but they're very shy about speaking English. If you ask them, they're going to tell you they don't speak English. You kind of have to just start talking to them in English, and then maybe they'll respond, or you can kind of see that they understand. But anyway, he just starts speaking to me in perfect English. He's got kind of like a New York accent. I'm thinking, where are you from? He's like, oh yeah, I lived in New York for not New York. I think he was in where is he? Connecticut or somewhere on the East Coast somewhere. Um, but anyway, maybe it's New Jersey. I can't remember. But he's on the East Coast. He's got that accent, right? And so he was just and so anyway, um, I just took that taxi ride with him. But usually when I get in a cab, I always get I always get their business. Now I won't say always, but in most situations, if I think the cab driver's good cab driver, knowledgeable, that kind of stuff, I'll get their business card because in the future I might call them up and say, hey, can you take me here? Can you take me there? It's just a lot easier than trying to flag down a cab because in certain areas, if you're trying to flag down a cab, you might not be able to get a cab. If you're next to a hotel, of course, you can get them. If you're next to the malls and stuff, it's easy to find a cab. But sometimes it is hard to flag down a cab, and you want to go with someone that you trust. If I want to go to a long, go far away and stuff like that. Let's say I want to go to Guatapé, which is like an hour and a half away from Medellin. I can, hit up Carlos. But anyway, so I got his business card, but I never used it. I didn't use it that time. So 3 years ago, didn't use it. I was coming back to Medellin maybe 2 years later. No, the next year I was coming back to Medellin. And so I called them and said, hey, I'm going to be at the airport. Can you pick me up and take me to my place? And so he did. He picked me up. He took me to my place. He was like, yeah, give me, if you need anything, you want me to take you someplace, just let me know. So I was like, okay, yeah, cool. So I came in, and I was only in Medellin for a few days at that time. So I was in Medellin for a few days. I didn't look him up at that time. And so then I left, went back home. And then that next trip, I did the same thing. I called him up and said, hey, I'm going to be coming out to Medellin. And so that time I said, okay. So I took him up on his offer. He's like, yeah, I'll show you around. I'll show you different places. And so I started hanging out with him basically. And we became friends. And so now when I go to Medellin, not only do I have a taxi driver, but I have someone that, as a friend would hang out with me. So he's not charging me just to hang out, charging me as like how can I say this? If I need to go somewhere, of course I'm going to pay for the fare, but he's going to hang out with me anyway. And so we're just going to hang out. So I'll pay for the fare, we'll hang out, do whatever, and then we'll get back in and then I'll pay for the fare on the way home, that kind of stuff. So it's cool. It works out. And so then we start saying, okay, well, let's go to here and go here. And so we start going to soccer matches. And so I'm doing things that I never would have done. Or I won't say never, but I probably wouldn't have done just with my friends that are, in Colombia. I'm doing that stuff with him because he's knowledgeable. He's out there. So he lived in the States for years. I want to say like 30 years he was in the States. Now he's back in Colombia, and he's happy. He's gonna stay there, and yeah, it's just an interesting story though of how we met. But I highly recommend if you ever go to Colombia, or not even Colombia, if you're traveling, really hit the taxi drivers up. If it's Uber, if you're doing Uber, whatever, talk to those because they know what's going on in the city. They know the different things that, where to avoid in the city. They know maybe some special events that are going on. And that's what Carlos was telling me. He was telling me all these different things that are going on. It's like, hey, you know what? This event's going to happen. This is going on. There's a soccer match. This is going to, like the soccer match we went to, that was a championship game. And it was really exciting. It was actually the second soccer match that I went with him. But he that they give you all the info, like what's going on in the city, and they know all the stuff that's going on. They'll tell me, hey, you know what? There's going to be a taxi protest, so make sure you're not out, taking, you're not going to be able to get a taxi. Is basically what he's saying, because they're going to be protesting right now. There's protests with taxi drivers because they're upset with Uber and just stuff like that. So he tells if you know the taxi drivers, you really hit them up. They're going to give you a lot of information what's going on in the city, and then you get their business card, and then maybe in the future you can have them take you places and stuff. So it's a win-win.
In English is Beach Avenue.
Okay, so I'm here with Carlos again, my tour guide, the best tour guide in Colombia.
What's going on, Points Blank Travel? What's going on, brother? Man, I need I need to get some of your audience. Send out a post. So what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. If you guys don't know Points Blank Travel, he was one of the old school. He still has a channel. He's still putting out content, but way back in the day when we were talking about the travel credit card stuff, he was there showing support, and we were working through it together. But now, brother, I'm starting a new channel. This channel, I'm rebranding this channel. This is another. Obviously, it's not the other channel that I had. So, yeah, man, definitely. We need to hook up. I need to come on your live and start talking about travel credit cards and stuff again. But yeah, that's the plan here, and I'm going to show some of the videos that I've posted, the vlogs and stuff like that. So I'm getting back into the live stream stuff. I really enjoy that, so I want to get back to it. But good to see you, brother. Good to see you. All right. So there's a lot going on here. Look at this tree. They have those in Hawaii. I forgot what they call them. All right, so I'm gonna skip.
All right, we're on our way to Plaza de Botero.
All right, so this is the Plaza de Botero. Botero is an artist in Colombia. Well, he just passed away last year, and very popular artist, sculptor in Colombia, and actually all over the world. He's very, very well known.
Plaza Botero. So it's right around this other side here. This is the church. Church right here.
Really nice looking church.
And we're gonna walk around to the plaza. This is new. Why do they blocked it off now?
Because a lot of people are coming in more like people live in the streets.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we'll skip forward. So yeah, that's
good.
These are his sculptures.
But very, very popular.
But yeah, he's very well known. It's funny. I didn't get this guy on camera, but there was another guy, a guy from the U.S. that was there, and he was on like a tour, and of course he hears us speaking English, and I'm doing vlogs and stuff like that. So he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, where you guys from?" This is an older gentleman. He's probably older than me. He's probably in his 60s. And he was loving it. He was loving it, but he said, "You know what? I don't know if he like went on an actual travel like a tour where you book everything through this travel company and you go." I think that's what he was doing, because he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm really liking it, but I want to be able to kind of just go and do my own thing. I don't want to have to be with the tour." And so yeah, it was just funny that he just came up to us and started talking to us. You could see that he was just like, "Oh man, I'm missing out." He felt, I think the way he was talking is he felt like he was missing out more. He could have been doing a lot more without the tour group, because that's one thing. I've never done that. I know of people who do that. They'll do the little tours where you pay for everything up front and then they take you around, but everything is structured and scheduled. I don't like that. I want to be able to kind of go and relax. When I go to Medellin is kind of a place for me to just relax. I'm not there trying to do, all these different excursions. I mean, I've been going to Colombia for so long now. It's just like a second home. So I like to go there and just kind of unwind and just relax and just have, be in a different environment, taste different food, meet different people, hang out with some friends that I have in Colombia. So that's what I really like to do. So, yeah, I could just see that he was like, "Oh, man, I messed up. I should have done this differently." All right, cool, brother. Cool, man. Yeah, I definitely want to. I definitely want to do something. I think. Oh, there it goes, right there. All right. Yeah, I definitely want to do something with you in the future, man. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Let's see here.
We're right under the metro right now. Got all the stuff here.
They got all these shoes.
And
I'm saying good. I'm saying this. So yeah, this right here on the top. That's the metro. They have a very very good metro system in Medellin. Very very good. Nice, clean. They have metro cables that'll take you up the mountain. Really really nice setup, and it's used like. I'll give you a good example. California, we don't really use metro. I mean, we have a metro system. We don't use it very often. Or actually, I don't think it's heavily used. Most people will just get in a car and go places. Most people have cars. They don't do the walking like in Colombia. They do a lot of walking. And in big major cities like in New York and stuff like that, they do more walking. But not everyone has a car in Colombia. I would say it's very few people actually have vehicles. Most people will take the public transportation.
all kind of stuff. Wow, it feels good right here in the shade. Nice breeze.
And so, yeah, and so just so you know, in Medellin, Colombia, it's very. Let's see. It's not. The weather is good, 75 to 80 degrees, but sometimes it does get hot, and it does feel, I don't know if it's not that. I don't think it's that much humidity, but it does get a little uncomfortable at times. But it's probably the best weather that you're going to get in Colombia is going to be in Medellin, on the coast. Cartagena, Barranquilla, in La Guajira region, Riohacha is very, very hot and humid. So Medellin is the weather's better. I mean, to me, it's comparable to California at certain times. Now, California, it gets hot out in California as well. It doesn't temperature never goes over maybe 85 in Medellin. But it doesn't go higher than that. You're not going to be in the 90s or hundreds in Medellin. But on the coast, you will be, absolutely. All right, let's see here. Let's get this off the screen. All right, this is something that I did not know about Colombia, and I learned it.
Some people come out here for business.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, I learned something. Carlos taught me this. These lines right here in front, this is for the blind. So they can use their walking stick, and they can just put it in the little crease in the middle and just walk. So they can walk in a straight line and kind of lead them through. And even at the crosswalks, you'll see. Let me show you the yellow at the crosswalk. They have lines here too. So you see at the crosswalk the yellow lines, and that's for the blind. I think that's really, really nice that they have that, and they have these all over. The funny thing about it is I've seen these. I've been coming to Colombia for 10 years and didn't know what those were. I just thought it was like a design, but that's what it's for. I thought that was pretty clever of them to do that like that. So this is where they sell all the fruit, vegetables, anything you want. And you have this guy selling avocados, and he's just going back and forth, saying what it is he's selling and how much.
Yeah, so in points blank, I'll hit you up on IG, definitely. You know what's interesting? I never knew that about, and I would see that all the time. The way that like the little tiles like on the on the street. Just that design, you see it everywhere. And I never knew. I never just thought about, okay, that's the reason why they have that way. I don't. I can't. I don't see that. I don't know. Like, do we have that in the U.S.? I don't think we do. I know they have like the signal lights will make that little kind of like a noise, like a walking, that little kind of tone. But I don't think we have like any direction, like for if you have like a stick that you're using that the blind use. I don't think we have like a little area where you can just put it on there and then you can just walk in a straight line. So that's interesting. Really, really interesting.
Aguacate maldito, yo cremoso, el mantequilloso, madurito, aguacate de amigo, el aguacate.
Yeah, and if you want the fruits, the vegetables, like all of that stuff is just all in one area. So this is the area that we're in right now, and you can just go and just get. I mean, I've bought from these vendors before, like right here. But generally, I would stay, like if I'm staying, depending on where you're staying, they will come to you. So you can be in certain areas, and every day you'll have a guy come through, avocates, selling avocados, and he'll walk down, he'll sell avocados and mangoes and all these different fruits and stuff, and you can just buy from them, coconuts, all that kind of stuff. But they're everywhere. But in this downtown area, you have a bunch because a lot of people come downtown and they're specifically coming to get bargains and stuff like that. So you get better deals out here, and generally the fruit is better, bigger, and like I say, these avocados are huge. And it's funny because you'll get some really good avocados here, but you go to the grocery store and a lot of times the avocados aren't very good. Like they're not ripe.
Look at the size of those avocados. Look at the size of these.
Yeah, I don't know if you got this. I want to show you real quick.
Okay. Too far from that well is.
Right here.
Aguacate bueno, si maduro, doble vale. Tremenda broma, el aguacate, doble vale 3,000 madurito. Vamos a llevar a 2,000, vale 3,000 aguacates.
Let's go.
Okay. Too far from that well is where all the stores for us.
Struggling. You want a picture of that? Shirts. Let me show you the shirt that we're getting. So Atlético Nacional is playing their championship tonight. So we're getting one of these for Carlos. I already have one at home, but it's that one. So that is Atlético Nacional, is the Medellin team. Well, there's two teams in Medellin. There's Atlético Nacional and there's Independiente Medellin. So those are the two teams. Now this, and I'm going to skip to the game. I'll show you the game. But we came here and we bought a couple of jerseys. These are they're not, what do they call them? What did he call them? God, I can't remember. Let's just say they're not authentic, but they're very good quality. AAA, I think he called it AAA quality or something. But yeah, we bought a couple of jerseys, and so we could wear them at the game. Now the game was a championship game, and I'm going to go to the game right now. The championship game was Atlético Nacional versus Millonarios, a team in Bogota, so the capital of Colombia. So let's skip forward a little bit. So
We can always get another trip down there.
okay,
My buddy's in there. We're going around 6:30. So.
okay.
Right?
Sí, no pasa nada. Sí,
No pasa nada.
No pasa nada. All right, we are inside. All right, I got to talk about this. So, this was funny because we were at the very top, and because it was a championship game, and we got our tickets later. Guess you could say. I think it was like $25 a ticket, something like that. We had to get the seats at the very top. Now, the good thing about it is Carlos has friends that have a section. And so we just got our tickets to get in. We were going to be sitting in a different area, but he knew his friends were going to be up in another area at the very, very top. And they were going to be some open seats up there, and so we already knew that. So that's where we went, but we went to the very, very top. All right, we're at the top level. And by the time I got up to the top, they call it nosebleed seats in the U.S. I was tired, and so was my cousin. My cousin's right there behind me. We got to the top. It was like, okay, I'm glad we don't have to go any further, because we had to walk all of these stairs, and then we had to walk up the stairs to go up to our seat. There we go. We're going all the way up. And this song that they're singing, this is the Atlético Nacional song, like the anthem for Atlético Nacional. Ay, ay, ay. See, we're at the top, very top. Okay, vamos. Yeah. All right, so that's where we are, very, very, very top. There's like 2 rows behind us, or 3 rows behind us, and that was it. We're at the very, very top. Let me skip through this a little bit. A little bit further. All right. So now we're doing penalty kicks, right? Penalty kicks, and now we'll see who wins. All right. So let me just kind of give you the update of what was going on there. So basically, it was the whole game was pretty boring, to be honest with you, because the Millonarios, I think they scored twice, and maybe they scored once. Was it one? No, they scored twice. So they scored twice, and it was just Atlético Nacional didn't do anything the whole game until the very, very end, and then they were able to score and tie the game. And then once they tied the game, now we're looking at the penalty kicks. And so that's where we are right now. We're watching the penalty kicks. This is for the championship. And so I'll just play this whole thing through. So everybody scored there. And the whistling is booing. So when you hear all that whistling, it's booing. They're booing. So this is the blue is Millonarios. This is the Bogota team.
So he blocked it. So obviously they're doing penalty kicks. So if you block one, then the next team has to block yours. And so Atletico Nacional was able to block the kick. Right, so this is the kick that matters. They need to block this one. And they didn't block it. So now Atletico Nacional is 1 up. So that was it. They won the championship right there. It was pretty exciting. It was an exciting match. At the end. It didn't get exciting until the end. And then they did the whole celebration with the fireworks and all that stuff. So we don't have to go into all that. I just wanted to show you the actual game in Colombia. And then at the very end, it was cool because he's everybody's going crazy, waving the flags. The whole city just turned into one big party. Yeah. So that was good. All right, guys. I see. I'm gonna have to go now. But yeah, so the whole plan here is I do want to talk about travel more. I'm glad Points Blank Travel came on. I want to talk to that brother. Maybe do a live stream with him. And then just giving you guys some pointers and stuff like that when it comes to travel. And then just do the vlogs. I want to do the vlogs and show you guys some different experiences. This is perfect for me now because I am retired and I've been retired for 2.5 years now. So I have the free time. I have the time to go out and actually experience travel like I couldn't do before because I was working, so I could do a trip, but like maybe 10 days or so, but I couldn't do like long periods of time outside of the U.S. But now I'm able to do that, so I can really bring in some good vlogs and show you guys some really good content. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take off. Thank you guys for being here, and I will be back on. The plan is I want to come back on for Friday, so that's going to be my plan. So Friday night. All right, guys, I'll talk to you in the next one.